Hey everybody, this is Jason Mader from Sweaty Heroes, and we're on the letter X, and we're breaking it down because there's so much X-Men, and this is just X-Men and Uncanny X-Men. So I'm going to tell to you about just this title, and I'm pretty sure because this is a pot like this, that we can break up the X-Men Miscellaneous. This is all X-Men Miscellaneous into another video. So we have I would say that you can have one choice. You get two choices. So you can have either Uncanny X-Men under Volume 1 of X-Men, which, because it did start as X-Men, became Uncanny X-Men in the 70s, and then remained with that title after that. Or you could put it under X, Volume 1, or you could put it under U for Uncanny X-Men, and then kind of go from there. I put it under Uncanny X-Men with under X. Part of this is that at Vintage and Vinyl Amherstburg, there's only about 10 lawn boxes, so it just makes sense to me to put all the X together, all the X-Men together, so that they're together and collected together. But also, I just think that the main thing is X-Men. So this is from just right after Jim Lee and all those guys had left, but X-Men was really super popular in the early 90s. With other artists kind of taking up the baton. In this case, it was John Romita Jr., and Roger Cruz later. Roger Cruz. And these were a lot of fun. This is my X-Men. This is the X-Men that I really enjoyed. But even in the later 90s, X-Men was selling really big and was a really huge title. And was doing really well, outpacing anything else except for Spider-Man, maybe. So you got X-Men 96 here, Uncanny X-Men under 6, and then you got more X-Men. Then you got Austin's era on X-Men, and Matt Fraction doing Uncanny X-Men. Then you get into the trouble of, then they cancel the title, and then they reboot all the time, right? So, that's where it kind of gets a little trickier. And so what I did is I put anything that says Uncanny X-Men behind Volume 1 of Uncanny X-Men, if that makes any sense to you. So this says Uncanny X-Men number 20. I would put this under X-Men Volume 1 as part of that collection. So, and it's done a few times. There's an Uncanny X-Men special to see that, okay? And then I don't have an example here, but there are some that have legacy numbers, so you'll see both of those numbers. That helps you. But otherwise, you're going to have to try and just go as what you can reading inside. This is from the Jim Lee era. Jim Lee is done, but Andy Kubert comes on, the main X-Men title, does a great job. And so this is Adjectiveless X-Men, and it's the main title. And then that X-Men title eventually became new. For a while it was called New X-Men, but then it went back to just X-Men again, and then it went to finally X-Men Legacy, and so this is all the Volume 2 run. So again, I'm not going to go back and forth, I'm just going to put it all under X-Men Volume 2 until it is finished with this title, X-Men Legacy, which hasn't been used again too much, so we'll call that Volume 2. This I am calling one of the later volumes. This is from 2000 and I'm trying to double check here, 2013. So I am going under as volume 2013. It's hard to remember how many volumes there are after the first two, so I just go by the year as opposed to anything else. And so sometimes you're gonna have to try your best to put all these X-Men titles together by year. And so we got, let's see here. All three of these are actually the same issue. This is a variant cover, taking one of the Jim Lee cards and making a cover of it, which I think is kind of cheap. So I would just, this is all the same book actually. You know what I mean? And that's number 9. And this is from the era of let's see here. What era is this? 2022 era. So, okay, we're going to just take one of these two copies, and this one's a double. And we have, it continues on like that. This is from the Fall, the House of the X storyline. We have 2 copies of this. And then I mentioned in my other video that when I was getting 800 books, and I ran out of time, I just sort of took the letter X and kind of just took as many as I could to fill the box because it was easier, even though there were doubles of X-Men. So that's what we have for X-Men. So what my kind of advice as a friend regarding X-Men is that you go with Uncanny X-Men first, or you put Uncanny X-Men under the letter U, and then X-Men, the 1990 series is next, and then after that go by year and date. And X-Men, the title flip-flops between those titles, back and forth, Uncanny and regular X-Men. So I would go by year and date in terms of that. And then after that, we will get into, I'll show you all the miscellaneous X-Men that you would put behind it. All right, stay sweaty and have an exciting day.